When the service set up, it was a new model with a new vision, and in our first few months we brought people together as groups to co-create the service values. And then a year later we gathered again to reflect on those values. But for this year's annual event, it felt ripe to have an event which captured and shared and celebrated the learning that's going on across the service.
Members of the Culture Club stepped forward after the last year's conference and agreed that one of the things that they would do would be to host this year's conference. When we got round to talking about it, we decided that instead of designing the content, we'll open out to colleagues to see what they wanted to share with their colleagues within the service.
Everyone who works for the partnership was invited, just under 200 people over the 2 afternoons. Our non-clinical staff, our administrators, our clinicians, our physiotherapists, our APs, consultants.
With some patient partners there as well.
Patient partners, yeah.
I think there were 4 patient partners.
And some of our partners such as MSK East and NRAS.
The sessions that were designed were a surprise to me, and there was no way that a small group within Culture Club could have come up with such an inspiring programme, even if they spent 6, 7, 8 times longer trying to plan it.
It was really diverse, and there really was something for everyone in each of our time slots. We had 4 different workshops happening at a time.
The workshop was based on some learning that we'd done over the past year, trying to embed a culture of shared decision making within the hip and knee pathway. From a patient's perspective, we've been collecting patient reported outcome measures to try and assess the extent to which people feel involved in a shared decision making conversation. The learning from that was vast. So from the clinical perspective, we learned that clinicians weren't always clear about the difference between informed choice and shared decision making. Our workshop in the conference was really about consolidating our learning, inviting the people that attended that workshop to comment and to think about how that learning might shape their practice and what they do in other pathways. But also there was a particular focus on values and preferences, because a core part of shared decision making is about linking the appropriate treatment choices or treatment options to individuals' values and preferences. In the main, it did attract clinicians, but there were also patient care advisors, other people within the organisation who don't have a clinical facing role. Thinking about your values and preferences makes us more appreciate what it might be like for the patient when they're asked to do just that. I think what's really important from that shared learning experience was that everyone felt comfortable about talking about their values and the things that were important to them, and that they felt comfortable to say if their values were completely different to other people. Having this shared learning experience meant that people had an opportunity to influence and to put forward their perspective on this very new approach. We were able to reach a wider audience to start conversations across the organisation about what we were already doing and to recognise the things that we're already doing really well. But also then, how can we support people to take those next steps?
Because we asked people to share something that they were currently had energy for, that energy came across in the workshops. People also didn't seem to restrict themselves to stuff that they were most interested in. So people from the knee pathway didn't all go to the meniscal tears. They went to other sessions as well. Sometimes because they were genuinely interested in the topic, sometimes because they wanted something different, or sometimes because they were interested in listening to the person who was running that session.
I also heard someone say that they'd managed to move a project forward by seeing someone on that day that had been stuck for 2 years. People were having an opportunity to connect and chat in a less formal way.
I think the tangible things are we got new people to join the Culture Club who we know will be running next year's session, and the fact that when we met last time they said we don't want to wait a year for the next one, let's do it sooner. On the day I heard people say it's nice to put a name to face, and since then I've heard people who had made connection on the day work together in a different way.
You really can create large-scale events that are really meaningful and energising and learning rich. I think it was a really rich programme because we trusted that the learning is already happening all the time, and we just have to create a space for people to offer it and share it. We're all learning, whether we're a clinician or a non-clinician, or even if we're a patient using the service.